Have you ever wondered how pro cappers hit their player props in CS2? Welcome to The Drop Props, where we teach you how to bet like a professional capper and get the drop on player props. Hello, it's Doc Demo, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to read our CS2 headshots model so you can start making smarter betting plays. Okay, let's start looking at the model. I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to find value and make smarter, better bets like a pro capper. So every row is an individual player and every column gives you the context you need. So let's break it down. The name is the player, the team/maps is the context, who and what maps they're playing. The K line, this is the headshot line from the book, or the kills line or headshot line, either one. And the average RP is the average rounds played in a CS2 match for that player. Now we get into the most important column, which is the diff or difference column. This is where you find your edge. It's the difference between what the model expects and what the line is. This is the average across all their rounds subtracted by the line. So you'll either get an under or over value. For example, you have the over diff and then the under diff. It could be negative or it could be positive. Positive means over, negative means under. It's important to keep in mind that this is just their average performance. This does not take in matchups or any sort of previous recent performances as well. It's just their average over a month span subtracted from the line. So there are different matchup factors that you have to account for. It's just to point out some key differences for you to take a deeper look at players that could be performing way above or performing way below their average and what the line that PrizePicks or Underdog is offering for you to bet on. So this is why it ends up being important to use every single model that the Drop Props offers for you to use in a single given sport or esport, because it lets you account for matchups, any sort of different statistical differences that can help you get that betting edge that pro cappers get when they make their player prop bets. So let me break down another key column that is provided within this data chart. So this is the odds column. The odds column is the likelihood that a team is going to win or lose their matchup against another CS2 team. So say a player has positive odds, that means they are likely to lose against the other team, which in losses, players are much more likely to go underneath their kill line than they are to go over, because in losses, players get less kills, and vice versa. In the over situation, you have players performing better in wins and tending to go over their kills. So it's important to take account of these matchup odds, of these whether they will win or lose, when trying to determine which is the best bet from this model to make based on all the information that the model is giving you. So let me give you another pro tip for looking at lines at this model. Let's take another look back at Andu. He has a difference of 4.59 over his headshot line of 19.5, and he's also projected to win that game, minus 294 odds. So this can be a little suspicious in my eyes, and I might not necessarily take this line, because why is the sportsbook giving us this line so low if he happens to go 4.59 over on average? Well, look at the odds. They're high odds, and if it's a blowout win, they tend to get less kills as well. If you're betting the over, what you want in CS matches are very close odds to one another, because the more rounds they play and the more competitive the matchup is, the more kills everyone across the board gets. But given how high that difference is, there's something else in that line. Like, that's suspicious. That's not just an automatic given. Like, why does the sport book want me to take that? So I might even fade that line because it's so discrepantly low compared to what the difference is actually saying. So just because something is super high, you have to ask yourself another question, like, why is this so different? Is this true? Is the difference actually true, or is it not true? And if you believe one way, go over. If you believe the other, go under. And it could be even negatives. So that's just another important tip to take into account when you're looking at the lines from this model. So to wrap up, I think it's important to talk about the other statistics that are provided with this model. That's the average rounds played, the kills per round, which is a KPR, and the kills per match, which is a KPM. As you can see, there's some quite significant differences between the two, as not every player performs the same. But a key difference you want to look at between all players on the same team is the average rounds played. In fact, I would average all of those together to get a true estimate of how many rounds that team is playing, and then I would multiply that kills per round by the average of that you calculated from the average rounds that the team is playing, and that will give you a much more true, I would say, average of what a player is actually performing, because these players could have just been added from like crappy teams to where now they are playing more rounds because they either got on a worse team or they're playing less rounds because they got on a better team. So if you average everyone across the board, then it gives you a better perspective on how many rounds they are actually playing, because so many of these different players could be sitting out or coming from different circumstances, and that's why the average round plays tend to be different. So to get a true perspective of how many rounds they are playing, I would look at the average across the board, like even take the one that looks to be in the middle of the most of them and do some math, calculate what their KPR is, and then that will give you an even more truer average to what it should be against the line, and that will help you in selecting the smartest bet for you to take. So that about wraps up the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope this CS2 model guide helped you all out, and if you want access to these models on a daily basis, make sure to subscribe to the premium in the Discord, and if you have any questions, also feel free to ask them there or in the comments below. Please like and subscribe and share this video. It helps me a lot to keep making these models daily and to help keep getting you the drop on player props. Thank you. Have a good one, y'all.